If you feel like you're doing a lot in business but not making the money you expected, let's talk about it this morning because the issue isn't that you're not doing work, that you're not working, right? The issue is that what you're doing isn't translating into income. Welcome to the Rich Auntie podcast, where we talk about building wealth, structuring your business, and creating a life that you actually want to live. All right. And today we're talking about something that most people feel, but they may not be able to translate it. And that is being busy, but not being profitable. And let's be honest, a lot of people are busy, right? Their calendar is full. You're posting, you're responding to messages, and you're working, right? And you're doing something every day in your business. I say you're not twiddling your thumbs, right? You're not just showing up every day and doing absolutely nothing. And, that's what makes it so frustrating is because you're putting in the effort, but that effort, it's not translating into income, and the income is not matching the effort. And this is where we need to shift your perspective because the difference between being active and being profitable is what we're going to talk about today. So activity looks like, posting content. I know many of you post, you are researching, you are learning, which I think is a great thing, and you're tweaking things, right? Us as women, we love to tweak and we love things to be right. But profitability looks like you're making offers, you are having conversations, the right conversations, and you're guiding people to the next step. And so there are a lot of people, they are active, but they are not positioned to get paid. And, getting paid is the whole point of a business, right? To be profitable. Yes, you want to do something you love. Yes, you want to do something you enjoy. Yes, you want to impact people, right? But the whole point of a business is to be profitable. So if you're going to run a successful business, you don't have the luxury of just being busy. You need to be profitable. So the issue isn't doing nothing. That's never the issue. I work with many women and it's never they're not doing anything because one thing about us, we are going to be doing something. Okay. We are going to be showing up. But what it was is that a lot of the times what they're doing, it isn't connected. It isn't structured and it isn't leading anywhere specific. So they end up doing a lot of things, but it's no clear path, right? From effort to income. And if you don't have a clear path, then how can people pay you, right? And from the outside, it probably looked like, everything is going good and they are, making steps and all of that stuff. But at the end of the day, it has to lead somewhere specific. So there has to be a clear path. And I'll be honest with you, I've been there. Okay. So this is me speaking from experience. I've been there before, doing a lot of things, trying different things, showing up, learning, adjusting, just like many of you may be doing. And from the outside looking in, it probably looked like I was doing everything right at the time. But behind the scenes, when you really lift the hood of a car, right? It felt like I was constantly trying to figure it out. Like constantly spinning in circles, spinning my wheels. So if that's you, if you're up at night trying to figure it out and you're like, I just got to figure out how to make this work, how to make your business work, I get it. I completely understand, so I'd pivot and then I'd try something new and then I'd shift directions and then I'll start over. And it was just a cycle, right? A cycle. And the cycle was exhausting. And so because you're capable of more. You know that everything within you, how you are made, you have what it takes, right? And you're putting in the effort, but the results just don't match. They don't match up to everything that you're doing. And that's when I realized at the time that I didn't need to do more. I was already doing a lot. It's what I was doing. It wasn't built to work together. All of the things that I was doing, it's like building the wheels of a car, right? Or getting the wheels of a car, building the engine, building the body, and building all of these pieces separately, but never putting it together. And so if you don't have it together, then you can't drive it, right? So it defeats the whole purpose. And so many people, that's how they're operating in their business. And so you could work all day, okay, and still not make money. Not because you're not a capable person, not because you don't have the ability, but because your business just isn't designed to convert that effort into income. You may post, you get likes, maybe a few comments, and a lot of people, what they're looking at and the numbers that they're looking at don't even matter. But no one reaches out after you do all of these things, after you're there posting for days and, 30 days of content and all of that stuff. And no one reaches out, or if they do, it doesn't go anywhere. And it leaves you thinking, what am I doing wrong? And here's the truth. It's not a visibility problem. Even if you posted more content, you would get the same results. You would be doing all of the things, and it's not that you're necessarily doing all of the things wrong or doing parts of it wrong, right? You're showing up, you're being visible, you are doing your best, the best that you could with the information that you have and what you know how to do. But the problem isn't your visibility. Many of us, we know how to post. We know how to do all of these things. Your problem is the structure. You have a structural problem in your business. And once your business is structured properly, you don't just do things. I know a lot of people, they're just doing things, okay? And it doesn't lead somewhere because you don't have a path, you don't have intention, and there's no movement towards revenue. And the whole point of a business is what? Profits, right? So this is where most people are stuck. This is where, I see many female entrepreneurs and founders where they're stuck because they don't know what should actually be in place to turn that effort into income. So they keep doing more instead of building better. They're doing all of the things, but there's no clear path. And that's exactly what I'm breaking down in my free training coming up called Build to Earn. This is where I'm going to walk you through what's missing in your business, what needs to be in place, and how to structure your business so that the effort actually pays you. Because I don't know about y'all. If I go to the gym and I'm working hard and I'm doing all the things, I expect to see results in some way, right? I expect to either the muscles are going to be popping out. I expect to have more energy. I expect to look better. I expect to feel better. And so I expect some type of result that I'm looking for. Well, it's the same thing in business. Many of you, it's like you're going to the gym of business, right? And you're doing all the things. You're lifting those dumbbells, let's call them, posting. You're lifting them posts. You're doing all of the things. You're bench pressing, all of the things you have to do. You're showing up. You're getting in there in spite of it all. And you are putting in the work. But what happens if you go to the gym and you don't see the muscles, or maybe you don't feel better and you don't have enough energy? What are you going to do? You're going to quit the gym. It's the same thing with your business. You're going to end up quitting your business. And a lot of the times, it's not because your business doesn't work. It's not because you're not putting in the effort. And it's unfortunate to see people quit on something that can work for them simply because they're missing things in their business, simply because they don't know what they don't know. And so my goal for Build to Earn is to show you guys what you need in your business so that you can continue on, so that you can create that legacy company, so that you can make the impact that you want to make, so that you can live the life that you truly want to live, doing something you genuinely enjoy, something you feel called to do. And so, that's what Build to Earn is about. It's helping female entrepreneurs create a business that pays them consistently so that you can continue on what you want to do in your life. And you could build your rich life at whatever that may look like for you. But in order to do that, you need to know what you're doing. Okay. And a lot of the times you're getting pieces of the information, right? You're getting pieces out there. Maybe, someone told you to do this, someone else told you to do that, and maybe you're implementing, but everything doesn't come together cohesively. And if you don't have structure in your business, then you don't understand why it's not operating. You can't find the gaps and you don't understand why it's not working. And so in Built to Earn, I want us to go from I'm doing everything, but it's not working to, oh my goodness, I could really do this. I could really create a business that pays me. All right, that is the goal. So if you're going to show up to Build to Earn, bring a notepad, bring your notebook, because you're going to take a lot of notes and you're going to get the insights that you need to be able to look under the hood of your business and figure it out. Okay, so DM me Earn if you're looking at this on social media. I can send you the link. I'm also going to be posting it everywhere. So there's a link already up, actually. I don't know where you're watching this, but this is streaming to so many different platforms right now. And so just hit that link and join us in Built to Earn. Busy does not mean profitable, all right? And once you understand the difference, you could build something that actually pays you. And that is the point of it all, right? So thank you so much for your time, guys. I hope that this was valuable for you. And I definitely look forward to seeing many of you at Built to Earn coming up in a few days. So get registered.